Hi, and welcome to week 3. Smooth progress so far. And I'm looking forward to this week because what we're going to do now is we're going to take the basic raw search you have and begin to refine it. And by the end of this week, you are going to have your final set of articles that you're going to progress into week 4 to analyze. So to get to that point, we have your initial search that you've now optimized to make sure, especially, you don't have any major type 2 errors. But there's likely to still be a lot of type 1 errors that we need to deal with. And the way we deal with that is we're going to use a set of inclusion and exclusion criteria. What we're going to do is use reference manager tools to go through each article in screening and eligibility stages and apply a set of defined and clear inclusion and exclusion criteria that are going to enable you to make a decision of whether an article is in or out as we progress to your final sample. One key benchmark students often ask me, how many total articles should I be looking for? Remember, I don't want you to have fewer than 20 articles. If so, you're just not going to really have enough to summarize. There can be some certain exceptions, but below 20 is really just too few to get a robust picture of the field you're working in. I also don't want you to have more than ideally 200. Again, there could be exceptions. These are benchmarks. They're not hard and fast rules. But if you have more than 200, you could spend an inordinate amount of time. We're not going to see you for several months, and we're not going to stay on track to finish. It also makes the analysis much more complex to do. So I would prefer you to try to optimize your inclusion and exclusion criteria to stay within those parameters. And you're going to see that this week's worksheets will help you to identify what are your inclusion and exclusion criteria out of common types that are frequently applied. The training videos are also going to give you ideas about what your criteria would work, what they ought to be. And then you're going to have a worksheet where you actually implement those criteria and forecast before you go through the whole screening and eligibility that will help you forecast to make sure you're in the sweet spot between 20 and 200 articles. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side of this week because then we're going to get to what I believe is the really fun part where we get to analyze the data and really get the deep meaning and insights from the research that you've done so far. Okay, look forward to seeing you in the next.